Elderly women tries getting me arrested 3 times in a row, by user space nightlife. I work for a drink vendor in the USA. I go to stores and stock them with beverages from my company. I do not work for the actual store we're stocking for. This event happened a few months ago while I was stocking a rather small yet local grocery store with drinks. A 70-year-old woman, me which will be OP, and the manager are the players of this bizarre event. I'm working the shelves when I see a 70-ish women flagging me down. OP, yes, can I help you with something? Old lady, I can't remember exactly what they asked for, but it wasn't a soda so I had no clue and told her as such. When I said I didn't know where the item was she huffed at me. Stop being lazy and find it if you don't know where it is. It's your job to know where everything is, you work here. OP, my eyes went wide as I was currently listening to Reddit stories. I wish to the heavens it was I don't work here, it was entitled Barunts, but I realized it was happening. I collected myself and replied the famous line. Ma'am, I don't work here, I work for. Old lady, she cuts me off. You do work here, you're stocking the shelves. Stop being lazy or I'm going to scream you tried to rape me and ruin your life. OP, at this moment I went into panic mode as I have listened to way too many stories to know that will ruin me, even if it's not true and found out later. I then had a genius idea in that moment. I tapped my earpiece and said out loud. Eric, you hear that? Did you get that? Old lady, who are you talking to? OP, my friend, we were recording a podcast when you threatened me. He got that on recording so I advise you leave now while you can or it'll be your life that's ruined. Old lady, she huffs and leaves, I thought that was the end of it. Nope, she came back with a manger for the store. Old lady, this is the employee that recorded me without my permission. I want him fired and the police called. OP, did you tell him why I recorded you? Old lady, it doesn't matter, you didn't have my permission. Manager, what did you record her saying? OP, lady, you want to tell him or shall I have him listen to it? Old lady, she sighs. Fine, I said I'd scream rape if he didn't do his job. It worked on so many other employees, I don't see what's wrong with it. Now call the police and fire him. Manager, she looked horrified at the old women and I started laughing. OP, you heard her right. I said to the manager who confirmed. Then I grinned and said. Ma'am, I didn't record you. I was listening to podcasts. Old lady, she got red and without missing a beat looked at the manager and, I'm not joking, said. He tried to rape me, call the police. OP, my mouth dropped as the manager has no clue what to say. Luckily, I did. Ma'am, you wouldn't know this, but I've been on hormones for the last 2 years. I'd cow I could rape anyone, I haven't been able to get it up in like 2 years. Manager, ends up laughing her ass off and the old women just left, never saw her again. The manager apologized and I was just laughing my ass off that worked. If it didn't, who knows where I'd be. Probably locked up with my life ruined because I didn't know where something was. I wasn't going to post this, till I later told my friend, Eric, but not his real name of course, and he laughed for a solid 10 minutes. Hope you enjoyed. You're right, I'm the dumbest person on the planet. Thanks, by Use Rundy and Gardist. I'm a 20-something book enjoying coffee drinker, so naturally I end up where the other couple million 20-something book enjoying coffee drinkers go, my local bookstore. I'm not there frequently enough that I get recognized, but I'll do some window shopping and have a coffee every so often. They did some reorganizing a while back and a bunch of sections got moved around, and from that came this lovely encounter. I'm browsing the new arrival displays, drinking my latte, and an older lady taps my shoulder and asks me to point her towards the romance section. I have no idea where the romance section went, but I don't see an employee to send her to and it really isn't that big of an inconvenience to give it a shot. I start my answer with, I don't know, but and she interrupts me. She says it's really unprofessional that I don't know where anything is. She goes on a tirade about how dumb I must be to not know where anything is, and what was the point of reorganizing the whole place if I can't even remember where things got moved. I did question at first if she thought I worked there, but I dismissed the idea because surely, she couldn't be that dense. Folks, I was in a skirt and heels. I had a basket of books and a coffee. I was carrying a purse. I couldn't have looked less like an employee if I tried. I told her as much, and she just got madder. Well, you just look like you work here. It's not my fault you're too dumb to correct people. TBH, that hurt my feelings a little, but I realized I had a superpower no employee at that store did, the ability to walk away from angry customers. So I did. Ignoring someone never felt so good. I think she hunted down a manager and started complaining to them, but I'm not sure how she managed to identify one in the first place. A bit anticlimactic yet, but getting to ignore a mean customer at my actual job is my biggest fantasy, and this was the closest I've ever gotten to fulfilling it. I don't work here, I just want to get stupidly drunk, by user Throwaways Johnny. Disclaimers, on mobile, non-English speaker. This incident happened almost 10 years ago. At that moment in time, I was working in a hospital in England, I'm a nurse, and living across a 24H Asda. I had finished my 5th in a row shift, which started bad, the first shift, and ended way worse than imagined, 5th shift. That day, while my shift officially ended at 2000 hours, I managed to get home at around 22:30. I was in mentality of getting drunk to start my 3 days off, but I had no energy to go pub hopping. I haven't gone inside the house yet, having a fag outside still on my scrubs, when I remembered I had no alcohol in the house. So I decided to cross the street and visit the 24H Asda, supermarket chain. I go in, still in my scrubs, grab a cart and hit the alcohol aisle. I load 2 packs of a certain dark beer and move towards the whiskies. As I'm browsing the whiskies, I notice a lady is watching me. I grab a bottle of bourbon and realize I haven't had anything but a piece of pizza all day and I'm kind of hungry. So I hit the ready meals next. As I walk towards the ready meals, I notice the lady is following. As I reach to grab my first meal, I hear the dreaded sound that had made thousands of workers to either quit or consider murder. Excuse me. I turn around to see the lady that was following me, Karen from now on. Karen, pointing at a bag of frozen chicken in her cart, I need 2 more of those. Me, so. I'm in a NFG mode. Karen, so I need you to get me 2 moris. Me, sorry, can't do. Karen, what? What do you mean you can't do? Go back in the back and bring me 2 more. At that point, I realize she thinks I work there. Me, sorry, I don't work here. Karen, don't give me that crap. Just bring the bloody wings. Me, are you colorblind? I was wearing dark blue scrubs, the workers had black trousers and green polos. Karen, how dare you, shocked. Me, anyways, there is an employee over there, he was 2 aisles over, filling shelves. Go ask him, and walked away. As I'm paying for my booze and food, I see her approaching with an employee accompanying her. Karen, pointing at me, that's him. He didn't help me and was rude. I want him fired. Employee, ma'am, he's wearing hospital scrubs. I can't fire a customer. Karen, but he's wearing a uniform. He should have helped me. The employee, which I presume to be the night manager, looks back at me. Me, don't look at me. I just want to get stupidly drunk, tapping the beers. Karen tries to say something more, but at that point I had already paid, so I grabbed my groceries and walked out. I saw her one other time shopping there at night, but I wasn't wearing scrubs and she probably didn't recognize me. Karen can't handle that IT property management can't really help with sales, by user nopants_Jedi. So technically I do work there. But I work in IT support for the company on question, not customer facing at all. So yes, I'll be polite and possibly point you in the right direction. That being said, it's a multi-building campus and I don't always know where particular items will be sold, or at least find you a customer service person. But this lady, damn, literally couldn't handle the fact that I was elbow deep in a printer and PC that some little bastard kid, Karen Light, had spilled some sort of thick liquid on, and I was trying to salvage the machines and didn't have time to help her find some specific brand of what the F ever it was she wanted. I guess, even after my polite "Sorry ma'am, I work in IT, let me, drop effing everything I'm doing, find you someone that can assist you." It had to be me. Now. Like right now. And I was, as she put it, a worthless RDED moron, and she will have me fired like that, snaps her fingers at me, so show me where X is now. To which I just kinda stood there and stared at her, watching her turn as red as a rotten tomato. There's a reason I left retail/management. Luckily, her squealing like a stuck pig got the attention of the floor manager, who was able to explain. "Ma'am, he doesn't work sales or with customers, he's property management, technically what we fall under, but if you come up to counter that says customer service, we can call a salesperson to help you directly. Karen and her husband waddled away, with her shooting me another glance I'm sure she meant to be menacing but really just made her look constipated. I thanked the manager and got back to my actual job, which thankfully I was able to Frankenstein the printer and PC for now, and it lives. First I Don't Work Here, by user beep beep sadfuck. My first I Don't Work Here finally happened last week. I just clocked out of work and went shopping for new shoes because mine were so worn out there was a hole in the solace of them. My work uniform is just casual clothes, i.e. jeans, plain shirts/sweatshirts and an apron with the store logo on the front, or a store-provided shirt with a logo on the front and back. So when I'm not wearing my apron, I'm just wearing everyday clothes. Within 10 minutes of shopping, 5 people asked if I worked there, and then a random lady came up to me going off saying, "You guys have such horrible customer service. I can't find anyone to help me." After she finishes I say, "Lady, I don't even work here, WTF," and she looked so angry but she stomped off instead of complaining further. Good thing too, because I had dealt with enough of customers' crap all day. I was so close to going off. Edit, I work at a Bevmo, a liquor store chain, and the store I went to was a Big 5. It's about all Big 5 stores, but the one I went to they all wore lanyards with their name and picture and wore casual but professional clothing as their uniform, so I wasn't wearing the same uniform as them.